After leaving the large city of Xi'an, we're spending a couple of days in the Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, also now known as the Avatar Mountains, since they were the inspiration of the floating mountains of Pandora in the Avatar movie. We are taking the Beilong elevator, which is a 2-story glass elevator built into the cliffs. It is 1,070 feet high and is considered the tallest outdoor elevator in the world.
To get away from the crowds near the elevator, our guide David led us to some out-of-the-way places.
Local people consider here is a very mysterious place. It's said in the many years ago, the tourist is said committed suicide because of cancer.
Oh.
And also not many years ago, the man wanted taking a picture for them. It's considered to be a very mysterious place.
Here you can even ride a replica of a banshee from the movie Avatar. Along some of the stone walkways, you can see some good examples of fossilized shells that make up a lot of these sandstone towers. When I first saw this, I thought it was a reflection in a lake, but it's actually a large natural arch, called the First Bridge Under the Sun. When I asked about this unusual fruit, David told us it was Chinese grapes, but they're actually Brazilian, and is the unusual fruit of the jabuticaba tree. Back on the bus, we passed by a tea plantation, when David had us get off at what he called one of his secret places.
There was no one else around, and it was a bit of a walk, but well worth it.
One of the things I was impressed with was the concrete guardrail. It was hard to tell that it wasn't really wood. Heading back up to the road, David had another place for us to visit. This one was a little more popular, including someone flying a drone.
Our transportation off the mountain was with the scenic aerial tramway.
My colleague go up the Tianmen Mountain. They said today Tianmen Mountain foggy, nothing to see. Here is very clear. Tomorrow's mountain. Today not clear, not to see anything.
With rain in the forecast for tomorrow afternoon, we're hoping for the best and that the bad weather will hold off until we finish our visit.
Usually the foot of a mountain, the queue, the line lasts for at least 2 kilometers long. Looks like the Chinese ink painting.
Back in town, we did some shopping, mainly for some snacks for tomorrow afternoon's long drive. But we passed up on these live creatures outside of a restaurant. I sure would have loved to see them in the wild. Staying in the Wenyuan district, our hotel was a short walk from the charming Western Hunan show. David arranged the tickets and met us at the theater. It's a cultural show that tells stories through dance, singing, and acrobatics. Today we're heading up to Tianmen Mountain. We start our journey by taking the longest cableway in the world. Leaving the city, it takes about 30 minutes as it travels over villages and valleys before making its way up the mountain. Before making our final ascent, we have to change cars for the final leg of our journey. Looking down, we can see Tianmenshang's Big Gate Road, having 99 turns, symbolizing the 9 places of heaven.
We'll be able to see it close up and personal this afternoon as we drive down it.
Hanging off the side of the cliff are utility lines, and alongside them a hell of a maintenance ladder. Once on top, we're treated to a spectacular view. The rain has held off, and the clouds that shrouded the mountain yesterday have cleared.
Ahead of us is the infamous glass walkway. After we don our booties, we make our way across.
It was a little unsettling at first, but we soon got used to it. High in the mountain is the Tianmen Buddhist temple. David explained that the original temple here was built during the Tang Dynasty, around 870, but was destroyed. The buildings here date back to the last time it was rebuilt in 1949. As we left the temple, the clouds started rolling in, as we took a chairlift into the clouds, heading toward Heaven's Gate. Our path takes us through some tunnels, then some elevated walkways before we hit a series of escalators. How many escalators are there?
This is section 7. Another section 5. So 12 in total.
The escalators take us to an overlook in the mouth of the famous Heaven's Gate.
After taking the final set of escalators, we arrived at the bottom.
Boarding a bus, we take the roller coaster ride down Tianmen Mountain's Big Gate Road and its 99 hairpin turns. Back in town, we had a nice lunch, including this tasty dry hot pot, before our 5-hour drive to Hunan Province's capital, Changsha. We're spending our day at the Hunan Provincial Museum. One of the exhibits was a wraparound movie depicting the natural history of the area.
6500万年前，地球气温下降，森林造就了砂岩风林。丹霞、花岗岩、岩溶地貌景观，小型大熊与华南虎的祖先开始出现。
The museum contains many interesting artifacts, like these bronzes that are over 4,000 years old. David told us that Changsha was the city that suffered the most damage in World War II. With fears of a Japanese invasion, the chairman of the Hunan government ordered his soldiers to prepare to set fires throughout the city. Unfortunately, a fire started in a military hospital, and the soldiers thought it was their signal to burn the city down. One of the permanent exhibits is a tomb dating back to the Han Dynasty. It included everything needed for the afterlife, including clothes and toiletries, along with food, dinnerware, musical instruments, and even this chess set. The mummy was so well preserved they even know what killed her, a heart attack after eating some melon.
While we were touring the museum, we befriended a young girl following us. She was listening to our English to improve her own.
With time running short, David asked one of the museum guards for his lunch recommendation. We ended up at a noodle shop right around the corner. With plenty of food to last us through the evening, we headed toward the train station for the 3.5-hour ride to the beautiful city of Guilin.